Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with the second part of the painting tutorial of Mortarion, and we are going to continue here with the paint job on the base. We are going to finalize the base on this part, and we will start the armor of Mortarion. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a slightly a highlight on this head here, on this skull there, and I will apply a little bit of flat one flesh because it's a little bit darker than the Screaming Skull. Okay, here we want to go very transparent, very thin, and just apply something like that. And that's all. I want to keep it quite dark, just a small highlight to make it work better. On the horns of these little monsters, we are going to apply back Racker flesh. That was the color we use. This is more greenish than the wrong color. And again, we try to glaze over that, going very light, and just to add just a little bit of highlight, not too much. I want them to get quite dark. Okay. I try to go very soft with the color. Okay. Let's go to do some of the fancy thing. And now I'm going to use Nihilate Oxide. What is one of the technical paints to do oxide. Okay, is the let me see if I find it. We're going to use, just give me a moment. We have Nihilate Oxide. Okay, and I'm going to put this starting from the holes we have on this thing. Okay, we start from the holes and we are going to make it drip down. Okay, something like that. But I will fill the holes with the Nihilate Oxide, okay, to show the parts that have been oxidized. Here, as well, on the symbol of Nargle, on the symbol of chaos, we'll apply it mainly on the base. And you want then, be careful because have a lot of contrast, so you want to keep it quite soft in that case. On the holes I like to keep it quite bright, but here, and you don't need to put it everywhere, just in some parts. So here, for example, it is broken, we can put it there. Then we remove a little bit the excess. Okay, we want to. It's a very nice, I think it's a very nice bluish color. You can give a very nice contrast when you do this type of brass, copper, any of these metals. Normally this is how the brass will oxidize is in this type of colors. Okay, not too much, I think this is okay. I will put as well a little bit here on these small bells. Okay, just a little bit, not too much. And then on these smoky things I will just go there, and then I remove the excess again. Okay. Over here. I'll put a little bit. The other bell. Here on this one I will keep putting. Okay, on the holes, some holes you can keep it with the black, and then I like to make this dripping down. It's also nice to put it around the rivets in case you go softer. Okay, you can make here, then we make it drip down, right? So there. Then I will love put here on the well, and I will put it around the nargle symbol. There is too much. I really want to go quite light on that here. Then I will put it thin down. Okay, something like that. But I like to keep the corroded holes quite. So you see here what they look like. Now I will put it very soft around. There are holes there, so just to, and I like to put it around the rivets. Here. Okay, so yeah, we'll work a little bit more with that and I'll show you once this is done. So here we have the work on the oxide parts, on the metal parts, as well on this metal part here. So the next step I will do, I will work on the smoke. And to work on the smoke, I will now do a highlight with the messy desert on the smoke. Okay, as I said, I want to give this yellowish type of smoke. Okay. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to pop up some of these details. Okay, if it's too strong, we are going to use Diane Sand, okay, to help us to soften some of the transitions. This was the original color we used. Okay, and we'll give now what we're looking is for contrast. Remember, I'm trying to simulate smoke, not fire or any other type of glowing thing. So I wanted to keep it, I use the normal highlighting, I don't use the reverse highlighting. So I go here with this and then this, and then I use, so I'm using Tayan San or Zamezi Desert, depending on how I feel, right? And then especially here I want to go more with the yellowish part. Okay, I will do this, and the other one I will do it off camera, so you can see how I do one. And this is the same type of smoke I would like to use. You can keep some dark parts to give this high contrast, and this can be done once it's assembled, because the parts that are not very visible, they already have their own, with the white we did before, they already have some highlights, so you don't need to go that extreme on the parts that are not visible. Okay, so I try to go now with a little bit more yellowish. Okay, and I think this is looking good. So just a little bit here, and this is how it looks like. So now I will do the other smoke, the other side, and I show you how it looks like. So this is how the smoke looks like now. I think it looks quite nice, yellowish. Next we are going to do just a very fast and work on the faces of these guys. Okay, and I'm going to paint the teeth, and also to paint the teeth I will try to use an off color. So I will use again Racar Flesh. I don't want to use bone color. And to do the faces, so this is going to be quite a tricky part. So we want to touch these teeth, and we're not going to do the eyes. They are too deep inside of the hood and are really a challenge. Okay, and the teeth we're going to do here and here. Okay, so next I'm going to use Rhinus hide, because I'm going to do one of the eyes of this thing. This guy have like a big fly eye here in this side, or at least is what looks like to me. I will do both sides. I will do okay. I will wait that this dries. I'm going now for red, and I will go for Mephiston red. Keep this. This guy have the eyes too deep inside, so make no sense too. This guy also have, so we can try. I don't think you can see this in camera, but I'm trying to do is to okay, this is too much, but we are going to clean up. It's difficult to reach there. And then on the one that have like fly eyes, now I'm going to put some red as well. Okay, you see, like that. Okay. While this part here is drying, I will not put on the small, on the one with very small eyes. I go back to Rhino's hide. I will clean up just to give this glow. You see now how it looks like. So you can see it on camera. Let me see if I can show you. This is going to be difficult to pick up in the camera, but I tried to. So let me see, and then here you have the other guy. Okay, and the thing I'm going to do now is very carefully we are going to create the glow of the eyes, and I think the best we can do, let's let it dry quite good. On this one here, what I will add is a little bit of 12 layer orange. We try to hit just the middle of the eye, and this is going to be tricky because there are a lot of things in there. Okay, this is enough. These are really small eyes here. So what I'm going to do on this guy here, we are going to take a little bit of gloss varnish, okay, hard coat, and we are going to put this on the eyes. This will give this extra reflections. Sorry. Okay. So we are going to we can put now some gloss varnish in some strategic places. I'm going to put it here, here, and we are going to do it as well here. Okay, we are going to make this to look wet. We can do the same on the mouth here. We can put the same on the tentacles to make it look slimy. Okay. Gloss varnish makes these nasty effects, and I think works very well with Nargal. Okay, when you want to make something look slimy, wet, yeah, really making good use of the gloss varnish, it's helping a lot. Okay, I will put it, for example, here on the belly. Okay, and I will put it on all these things. So we are going to make it on this type of things. So to make glossy, to make them glossy, we'll make them to look even nastier. Okay, we are going to put as well on this type of slimes that we painted before, and on all these type of things we have put on the rocks. Okay, so just don't put too much, and try to keep focus on the areas that you want to be glossy. Okay, if you make a mistake, we can correct this later on with matte varnish if you have. Okay, so I will do that, and I show you once it's dry how it looks like. Glossiness have been applied. Okay, and now I'm going to apply some highlights on the clothes of the Nargli. Okay, so for example on this one, just we are going to apply something like that. Remember, this is a miniature where it's going to be a miniature where we want to spend some time. I really try to do all the details that we have there. So we are going to do this with I'm using no Bendblade Brown again. Bendblade Brown was the base color. We did a wash, remember, with Agate Air Shade. And now I'm just doing one highlight with Bendblade Brown. It's a small miniature on a full. Remember, these are not going to be the center part of the miniature, but you want to give this highlight anyway. Okay, the other ones we are going to. So this one I will also highlight with Bendblade Brown. Okay, and you see now how the eyes look like. Okay. There. Okay, and this one we are going to highlight with Gotham Brown. This is the same type of technique, so it's almost edge highlighting. Want to give this sensation of leathery clothes. Okay. And now the last thing I like to do on Nurgle bases is I'm going to apply a little bit of Nurgle's rot, and this is going to be applied on the slime on the matte part to create like a slime. Okay, so we need to use quite a bad brush to do that. So what I'm going to do, for example, I'm going to do like a small pulse of this Nurgle rot on some parts, okay, something like that, for example. So you can pull it where you see that you have quite a dark wash. You don't need to abuse of that. So for example here it can be a good place to put some. Be careful not to cover the detail with it on the rocks. Okay, so you can put, here it will go very soft. Okay, just to put it like that. Okay, I will not put it all over the place. I will put it where I see that the shade have not worked like well, so just to helps to simulate if you have done a mistake. Yeah, let's put it this one. Let's make one bigger pull here. I really like to play with this Nurgle's rod, and then you can always go almost like a dry brush or something like that. You put a very little just to give this sensation. So I just do some pulls. Here I will keep the wetness around the rock, just like that. Like if it's a slime track or something like that. We really want to make this type of nastiness. Okay. So, and that will be the base for me. So we can leave it here. The base is done, and now we can go to paint the armor. So let's make just the tail on the base, so you can see how it looks like. Okay, now we are going to paint Mortarion itself. So let's go. Remember that I have Mortarion divided in parts. So I primed all the parts together. They were attached with glue tack, and then I separate some of the parts. So one of the big things that I didn't want to fix it was these two sides, because then the lights are very difficult to reach. So I assembled a lot of things, and then after priming, I separate this part. I have all the parts here, okay, wings and so on. So now we are going to paint the armor. And for the armor, I think at the end I will use, let me see if I find the color, I will use Death War Forest. Okay, so I'm going to paint now all the armor plate with Death War Forest. It's very similar to the Death Guard green. Okay, and I will paint all the parts that will go green and more. So I will, even if I go on top of the parts that will go metallic later on, I will just apply this as the base color on the full armor. Okay, so you do that, this will give a very nice contrast. So this, I will use the other oxide on this or the other rust effect for these parts. Okay, so here we will have a very nice colors combinations coming. So you do that, I paint the armor with Death Wall Forest. Okay, and once this is done, I show you how it looks like. Okay, so I do that and I come back. So this is how it looks like after applying Death Wall Forest. And the next step I will do is I realize that here we have this chainmail, and I'm going to apply here some black, because I want to do the to help me to do the chainmail. If you have a black base, it's working better. So I'm going to use black when I find it. I have to put order to my colors. So here we have the black. I will take thinner brushes to help me on that, and I will apply it quite thin on this. These are the armor joints. Okay. As this thing will go more on the holes, that is where I want the black to go. White is maybe too thin, but you want to really go with a thin paint to do that. Okay. So I do the other parts and I'm back when it's done. So I have applied the black there, you can see. Okay, and now while this is drying, I'm going to start doing the trimming with the of the armor, where I'm going to use Balthasar Gold. So I want to give this sensation of again that I did. So I go for the same metallic that we did here. Okay, so I'm going to use Balthasar Gold, and we are going to use a very similar technique. I will combine the two metallics. So I want to have in this, on this guy, the both metallics, the iron and as well the copper-like. Okay, but now I'm going to do all this trimming of the armor. I will do it with the copper-like metallic. Okay, so it's going to be Balthasar Gold. Later on, with the washes and the weathering, we are making this to look like rusted copper. So I do that, and again this is a slowly step. It's a matter of being patient and just doing all these details of the armor with Balthasar gold. So I will be working on that. The spikes, I'm going to do this type of spikes with more iron or steel look like metal, but it's going to be as well very rusted. So we are going to combine the two metals on this armor, okay? Plus of course the painted metal. So I will be working on that, and I show you once this is done so you can see how this step is looking like. But to save time, and just the tip here, when you are trimming this type of details, go with the brush. I don't even have a good brush to do that, you don't need it. You go with the brush almost flat, apply a very little pressure, and you see you are going to pick up all this type of trimming. Sometimes it's happening in small mistakes. You can correct this later on with depth forest, but you want to do is really to trim all these things. There are parts that can be a little bit tricky to know where to stop. Here, for example, this is one of these parts. Although now can look a little bit weird, I will leave a little bit of green. But when we do the wash, this will disappear. Okay. So again, trim the parts that you think it's interesting to trim. For example, here, I will add this part. Okay. On the knee protection, I think I will do this. Okay. All of these things can be optional, and it's up to everybody to know what they want to trim and what they don't want to trim. But I think I really like this combination of this copper light metal with the green. Okay, so I will be doing that on all the legs and the torso of the armor. I will also do this type of things here, of orbs that he has here. And I'm back. I don't work anything on the top. I don't work anything on the exterior of because this is going to be done later on once we assembled. But I will work all the legs and all the parts that are difficult. One thing that I always want to do with this copper are this type of deposits or mechanisms that we have here at the back. I think they will look nice with this, okay, this type of things, I mean, okay. So I will paint all these details and I show you once this is done. So this is how it's looking like now, okay. We have now the trimming with metal, and now I will do what we have prepared before. We'll use iron breaker, and we are going to apply it on this on the armor joints. I will keep using this brush that is, so it's almost going to be like a very gentle dry brush where we want to make the change. Doesn't matter but as you can see, it's not really dry brush, it's just I try to apply little pressure and go over all this type of chainmail. If you make a mistake and to put too much, don't worry. This is just, I just want to start working the contrast here, but we are going to to finalize the contrast once we do the washes. The washes will give the final definition we want on the chainmail. Okay, so you do the same on the other ones. Maybe it's difficult to see in camera, it's really hiding behind see, so I do the same on the other ones and I'm back to the next step. With the same iron breaker, I'm going to paint all these spikes we have here. Don't worry too much if they don't look very contrasting with the green right now. We are going to increase the contrast once we start doing once we do the wash. Okay. So, but I want now to pick all these spikes there. Okay, so I do that and I show you how it looks like. So this is how it looks like now. I did the spikes, I did the joints of the armor. Next step, I will paint only the inside clothes and also this cloth here. And I will use Beyblade brown for the clothes. I will not go for the violet or purple they use in the official color. I will go for more earthy off color, and from there I'm going to work. I will start applying this. I was thinking between this and a darker brown, but I will start with Beyblade brown, and then if I need darker, I will work from there. But I will apply now Beyblade brown on the clothes, but mainly on the clothes that are inside and that can be difficult to reach later on. Okay, so again, just thin down the paints and try to do thin layers of paint to avoid to clog any detail. I start using a medium-sized brush, and then later on I will go to smaller to reach some of the details. But in that case, you just want to go fast. Try not to dirten the green that we already did. And what I'm doing is I'm preparing the model for the wash, and then from there we will start doing the highlights. Okay. So I do that. I paint the inside of the clothes here. On this clothes, I will not paint the outside, I will just paint the inside, because it's going to be the part that is going to be difficult to reach later on. And when we do this part, I will do the same. I will paint the inside, so I need to take off the glue tack, and I will also do all the inside of this part. Okay, so I do these insides, and I come back here to show you how it looks like after that. So as you can see, I have applied the brown here inside, and now we are going to do a couple of details before doing the wash. I'm going to apply now, I will use for this swimming school, okay, for the school symbol. We'll use a smaller brush. Okay, we just apply that, trying to leave the holes in brown, in black. Okay. Tip is not to apply too much pressure. Okay, we apply here. Here. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to use Gotham brown on these leather ribbons there. Okay, so we are going to apply Gotham brown here. Later on we will work to increase the contrast there. We can apply oxide, for example, on the these orbs, or these are like grenades. I think these are like grenades from this guy. Okay, I'm going to apply the same here. Remember that I'm just now applying the base colors. We are going to do the base work to later on do the more detailed work and the weathering. Okay, apply this here. So I want to apply all the base colors because I want to do a wash with Aglax air shade on all these parts. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to do these tubes here, and to do that I want to give them like a fleshy tone, but I will use a dark one. So we can use this one. I think I will use this one, Tusgor Fur. So it's really a pinkish, a strong pinkish color. Okay, and I'm going to use this on the coating of these cables. Okay, so this part here, leaving the part that is exposed unpainted. Okay, we are going to do that. This is going to be quite a bright color, but don't worry if you find it too bright. And I think it's a color that is contrasting very well with the green, and I think it's a color that is working very well to do some details. But don't worry if you find it too bright, because once we apply the wash, will be dull, so will be get closer to the green. So I do that on all the tubes that we have around here, and I will be back for the next step. As you can see, I did the tubes, and the next step we are going to do is I'm going to use Iron Breaker, and we are going to paint the cables inside with Iron Breaker. And with that we are going to be close to to have all the base colors here, and we are going to be able to go to the wash. So again, here we just do that, and maybe we will need to have the previous color in case we go to, I make some mistake there, so you will need to use the previous color in case you go over the protection of the cable. Okay, so I will do that here. Okay, it's important to, when you, so for example there they went too far, I will go back with Tusgor. Okay, and we are going to go and clean up. Okay, okay, so I will do all these breaking points with Iron Breaker, and I'm back once this is done. So here we have done the cable, okay, the other one as well, and now the last part on this part of the tutorial, I'm going to do a wash with Aglax Air Shade. So this will now give us all, will pop up all the detail, all the different things we have on this part, and I will do this here, and as well I will do it on this part where we paint. This is the other side of the cloth. Okay, so I'm going to apply that, and I will finalize. So you see, this will show us all the detail here. Okay, and I will finalize here this part of the tutorial. Okay, so I think it's a good moment to stop. Just getting ready to start doing the details on the legs before assembling the legs to the rest of the body. You can see it's important to go there in the depth. This part is not going to be very visible, so but try not to be messy. Avoid that the wash is pooling as well, and if you apply too much, remove the excess of wash. Okay, you can go a little bit dirty. This also will show off if we have done mistakes, and then from there we can do the corrections. Once we do all the highlights, we will also do all the corrections needed if we observe some mistakes on the previous painting jobs. So yeah, I will finalize here this second part of the painting tutorial of Mortarion, and keep tuned if you want to see more, because I think the next part is going to be quite a fun part. We are going to do the weathering and the rust and the oxidation on the legs, especially on the armor and the metal. We are going to work on the tattered cloth and the inside especially, and yeah, and we are going to work as well this part that I'm just washing now. You see that this will integrate all the colors together. We are going to make also the metal less shiny. This wash will do all these metals non shiny at all. Will keep any glossiness. So I really like to apply this wash as and then I consider normally this after this part, when we have all the base. I consider for me the base to start working on the details. So yeah, as usual, give a comment, let me know what do you think. Sorry if the videos are too long, but I like to really go into the detail, and I prefer to talk and explain these things at the same time I'm painting rather than post-editing. It's more my style. But yeah, let me know what do you think. Give a like if you have liked this video. I hope this project is interesting for you.